And we are back, episode 54 of Journey to a Million. And we are going to be talking, of course, about the week 13 takeaways. And we'll be giving you our week 14 preview here on the podcast. And you might be wondering, right? It's just Zach and Drew here. Zack Rausch. And Zach, how you doing?
We'll see. Hopefully my headphones survive through the episode.
Hopefully
Getting low
they
on
do.
batteries, so I might have to plug them in, but we'll make it.
Classic. And then I'm here. And why I said you might be surprised, just Zach and myself here. Jared is unfortunately sick. He, it's getting flu season, and it sounds like Jared's a little under the weather. However,
he's playing hooky. He's playing hooky.
Okay, well, Zach's
he's actually sick. He's actually sick.
We just talked to him before we went live on the air here, and we're hoping he's feeling better. But we were able to fortunately get the drafts for you done, the team, the player picks, and last minute we were trying to get some sort of fill in here, but it's fine. It's just gonna be Zach and I tonight, and we'll still give you our good conversations. And again, unfortunately, we were trying to get some guests on, but ended up just not working out in terms of logistics, time, and it was late notice. But we can still tell you how we did on team picks, and I guess maybe I shouldn't say how I did, but Zach, you can.
You lost them both. Yeah, you lost them both.
Lost them both.
Typical week. Very typical week.
Oh no! I gotta hold on. Okay, we're good now.
Don't lose to the soda. Don't lose to the soda.
I didn't lose to the soda. Not sponsored, but rough week for me in the team picks. I was living a little risky after winning week 12, so I was like, all right, I felt like I was playing with some house money. It felt pretty good until it didn't. Same with in fantasy picks. I was like, okay, just win. We can maybe get win 5 here, catch up to Zach, and play with a little bit of house money too.
Yeah, you're not catching up.
Looks like I'm not catching up. It was a tough pill to swallow. Fortunately, and now Jared passes me again on overall score for fantasy player picks, and he did not pass me yet on team picks. That's not happening.
He's getting close. He's getting close.
No way. But yeah, I mean, I know we were talking. I wasn't making excuses at all, right? All of our tight ends didn't perform, but I was pretty surprised with how Mo Alley Cox was used coming back, even though Jelani Woods had a big game. And I thought, Jeff Saturday might want to, put in and kind of see for next year, right? I felt Jelani is a bigger piece of that team next year than Mo Alley Cox is. But that speculation did not work, as you see in my score. Along with I believe I had Jamar Chase too. Maybe I was a week too early on that.
He did fine. I mean, he wasn't terrible. I think he had 90, 95 or something like that. So
yeah,
you saw a solid week. Just didn't score and didn't have a whole lot of receptions, but
tough scene. You win some, you lose some. Some lose more than others, as we say. It seems like I say that every week here, but Zach, you go 5-0 for the third time or fourth time. Sorry, almost sold just short
fourth
there.
Time.
Week. What's up with me doing like every single thing?
You're mediocre at.
It's either team picks or
very
fantasy
mediocre.
Football. Like I'll tell you this: my fantasy football record. When we go at the end of the year, I'm gonna tally up all the records, right? See how I did. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be either exactly 500 or a game or two above or below. I tell you that right now. I'll be in the playoffs in probably 4 of 6 or 3 of 6. So 50%.
Aren't you fighting for a playoff spot, like right on the edge in like all your leagues too?
So. I mean, you're familiar. Where Zach and I are in 2. We're in 4 leagues together. So, in all 4 of those leagues, either both of us aren't really doing well. I don't care about your league where you are. What are you, like 7th or 6th in points scored, but number 2,
something like that.
Like
something like that. My team performs when it's needed, and they really show up in the big moments.
Don't you? I mean, granted, like looking at your roster, you probably it's weird because you dealt with like a lot of injuries in that one.
Screwed by injuries.
Like you
trade for Jimmy G. I trade for Jimmy G to be my super flex. Get 2 weeks of him, and then he goes out and gets hurt. Which
that was Alex, right?
Yeah, very unfortunate for Jimmy G though.
Yeah,
he can't catch a break. So
what was the trade on that?
I gave up my first round pick, and I got his second round pick and Jimmy G. So I probably
that's
traded
fine.
back
No,
like 5 or 6 spots, maybe.
not terrible. Of course, first round pick, that price tag. No matter where it is, it's certainly something to
I
look
mean,
at. But
it's still he's going to be 11th in the league, so I'll get the second pick in the second round.
I wonder about Jimmy G. Looking too far ahead maybe, but of course that's something we got to talk about. With him and Lance both injured. I mean, obviously, we still expect with the capital spent on Lance, and even Jimmy G's gonna probably recover from his injury sooner than Lance is or will. You'd imagine Lance is gonna be the quarterback next year, though. Still, right?
Jimmy G to the Jets.
What's
That's
his
my
contract
prediction.
looking like?
Jimmy G, he's a unrestricted free agent.
Oh,
he can't be franchise tagged, can't be nothing. He's going to free agency.
Jimmy G to Jets. That would be
somebody's going to give him he's probably going to get, I'd assume, $30 million a year, something like that somewhere. Somebody's going to give it to him, and it won't be the 49ers.
No. So your Jets thing's perfect. And I'm in the offseason, I know we're working out some plans, but I think perfectly. I can tell you we're definitely gonna be doing some free agent predictions. So, one of those things being, right, I mean, you mentioned Jimmy G Jets. If you think about it, it's probably a pretty good fit with the defense they built, a very underrated defense, and then on top of getting Hall back, and then
recreation of the 49ers, pretty much.
Yeah,
just in the AFC.
But there's no. Is there any Shanahan lineage coming from?
There's Robert Saleh, and there's Mike LaFleur. The offensive coordinator and head coach both came from the 49ers. So
yeah, and they have Zach Wilson and Mike White. Mike White he might perform himself into potentially when he hits or free agency, into like a starting role for a team. I mean, I don't know what kind of team, but
no,
he's played himself. Look at what Baker.
Is he a free agent this year?
Okay, the beauty of football is with all the contracts, we don't know whoever is a free agent or not.
I don't think he's a free agent.
I think it's easier for baseball. I mean, or even basketball. You can just it's a 1-year deal he's on it. He's a free agent, Zach.
Oh, really?
He's unrestricted free agent.
Well, that'd be interesting. But
he's making $2.5 million.
I don't think he's. I'm trying to think of a good comparison of what he could sign as. I don't like a Mitch Trubisky in Pittsburgh, maybe. Where kind of he's competing with whatever other quarterback is there. He might win the job, but it's not going to be just because I don't think anybody's going to give him a starting job for a full year right off the bat. I think he's going to go into a competition somewhere, and he's going to have to win the competition.
Sure. He's certainly. I mean, just with the track record, right? There's not enough of a track record to say you win this job. I'm just shocked with the whole Baker Mayfield stuff. We were talking about, DJ Moore, and of course we'll go into the offseason stuff more when we get there. But really tough to see. I mean, so the Panthers.
What are you talking about? How you were saying?
I'm getting there, but just how they waive him. And then the Rams claim him. So, good for Baker Mayfield. He's still going to be there. But is Baker Mayfield, he might be a backup quarterback for the rest of his career. I mean, maybe not the rest of his career, but he's certainly proven that he might not be a quarterback QB1, and so far.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I think he's still good enough. He's going to be a fringe starter, I guess. Kind of one of those guys that's kind of either a low-tier starter or a very good backup. I think that's kind of where he should be.
Is that what Zach Wilson will be?
I don't know. That's a good question. He's still
I feel
he's still very young, so I think he still needs some time to maybe. I think he has to win that locker room back if he wants to be the starter again. But
sure,
yeah.
With Mike White, though, I was just thinking comparisons. Gardner Minshew, how about that?
Yeah,
good,
that works.
Good backup. Okay, yeah. But anyways, yes, DJ Moore. many people, including myself, yes, myself, probably exclusively myself on this podcast, was hyping up DJ Moore as, or maybe not DJ Moore, but Baker Mayfield as DJ Moore's best wide receiver, which made me, or or DJ Moore's best quarterback he's ever played with, which directly, made me think, hey, could be something there with DJ Moore, career year
Okay,
potentially.
every single time Panthers have changed quarterback this year, this is what you text me. DJ Moore season. He's going to be great now.
That is
New
trolling.
quarterback,
No.
It's going to happen. Every
That is
single
somewhat
time.
trolling.
When they went to PJ Walker, when they went to Sam Darnold, when they went back to Baker Mayfield, time.
So far, my experiment of that tells me Darnold's the best one for him. And Darnold will put him in potentially the top 2025.
All right, this is my experiment with it. DJ Moore does not have a stable quarterback, and you cannot trust weekly production.
What if DJ Moore had a stable quarterback?
He would be good, but does he have a stable quarterback?
No. Darnold is good enough to. I'm going back to what I said, and I'll change the Baker Mayfield to Sam Darnold, because with Darnold he gets targets. I mean, with Baker Mayfield, there's weeks he was getting not even targets. I mean, it was pathetic. I just think that's an interesting development, but also, Cortland Sutton's has been an interesting development now with the hamstring issue. He might not. It sounds like he's not even playing this week. So talk about like another guy who many people were hyping up with the quarterback change.
I took Sutton's under for fantasy points last week. It was the greatest pick of my life. His over under was at like 15 or something, which I would have taken the under even if I just didn't think he had any chance of getting there, and then he ended up at 0. So good pick. I thought the line was a little high though. So all right, this is what I wanted to talk about though.
Sure. Right, we can
get back to DJ Moore. Give me your top 5 teams. Give me your top 5 NFL teams this year, right now, for this week. In order.
Top 5 NFL teams right now.
In order.
Okay. So number 1, you got to go with the Eagles.
Yep.
Number 2, I need to have all teams up because I'm going to miss someone and it's going to be bad. Let me pull up standings. So it goes in this order. It's Eagles 1, as I said, and then it goes. I gotta say Bills 2, even with that loss, and then I'll say Chiefs 3.
Wait, what loss are you talking about?
Von Miller, Von Miller out for the year. That hurts me. That hurts a lot. I like that pass rush. Like I feel like it's more than people think.
How many weeks has he been out though?
Like the last 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I went Eagles, Bills, and then I said Chiefs. That's top 3, and then I'll say Cowboys at 4, and then I'll say 49ers at 5.
Ooh, you're high 49ers. This is so all week I've been seeing like either Instagram Reels, TikToks, where people are putting like the Chiefs and Bengals as top 2 teams in the AFC and saying the Bills have fallen off and aren't on the same level as them, which I don't understand it. I think the Bills should be put ahead of them right now. Bills went into Kansas City, beat Kansas City. So did Cincinnati, which I guess you can count that as a wash, whatever. I think out of all 3 teams, they all have, you can argue any of those offenses are the best offense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, someone can take any offense and you really can't fault them for that. I think Bills easily have the best defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why people are saying the Bills aren't on the same tier as them other 2. It's just, is it recency bias just because the Bengals beat the Chiefs that all of a sudden they're possibly the best team in the AFC and above the Bills?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be. I mean, just if we're looking at a full season long, even if we're speculating, the rest of the season, you got to like the Bills' chances the most out of probably the most out of the AFC right now. Even like we get points.
Is people are saying, "Oh, Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes. Burrow can beat Mahomes," and so I went back and I looked. Last 2 years, the Chiefs are 1-5 against the Bills and the Bengals. The only win was that playoff game against Buffalo. And the whole, I guess, like the whole point that like Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes in his last 3 games against the Chiefs. All right, starting with their game last year. Josh Allen was 15 for 26, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 315 yards. And then he had 3 touchdowns, no picks, 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, 329 yards again. He's played absolutely phenomenal against the Chiefs every game, and people are still saying he can't beat the Chiefs, even though he's 2-1 and has played phenomenal against them. So I don't understand why people
I don't get it
saying,
either.
like Kansas City, oh, like Mahomes' best quarterback, whatever. He hasn't beaten Burrow or Josh Allen, and he's the MVP this year out of them 3. Like he's played better than them this year, so I'm not saying that, but I don't think you can say that the Chiefs are locks against either of those teams, especially with how they've played against them. It's been frustrating me seeing all the reels and everyone just kind of putting the Bengals and the Chiefs on top with how like the last 2 seasons have won, and I don't understand why.
It's a form of recency bias, I'd say, and then plus the fact that it could even be somewhat like the Josh Allen elbow injury, the interceptions recently. It could be something in that.
I mean, also you got to look at last year, middle of the season, the Bills had a rough stretch too. They lost to the Jaguars, who ended up getting the number 1 pick. Right, so they had a rough stretch last year too. Austin comes to the playoffs. Everyone's saying like their best team with Kansas City, right? So I
agree.
I just don't
I
think everyone's counting out the Bills just because the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Or I don't even understand why.
Who's your number 5? I want to ask because I said 49ers. A little surprised. Even with the quarterback situation. I mean, you're talking best team. That win against Miami is huge.
Yeah. That was a big win. I put Cincinnati at 5 just because they've been playing really good recently. And I guess when I look at it, I want to see another week or 2 of Brock Purdy just to see what he has.
Yeah, that's kind
before
of
I put the 49ers there. So it's kind of obviously
5-game win streak too.
My power rankings got posted this morning, right?
Yep. Power rankings are out.
I have Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, Cincinnati, Miami, Minnesota, then San Francisco. So I kind of, even though San Francisco beat Miami, I didn't really, I guess, move them just because the whole COVID situation. Fair. I moved Miami down a little bit just because Tua did not look good either.
I'm a little worried though with again with Brock Purdy. I mean, how could you not be, right? But I mean, the rest of the team around him has been, it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible talent, and then the fact, right? I mean, CMC there. It's tough to like lose Elijah Mitchell again. But I'd imagine if Purdy can play somewhat a role Jimmy G does, which again, Jimmy G's role. I mean, I know I like to, I sometimes look into Jimmy G's performances, right, and I question that as them competing long term, but like, I feel like Brock Purdy can do some of that, but again, I mean, his role is easier said than done, nonetheless, right? Being that manager, still win them that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I guess the system overall, or just what they've asked out of their quarterbacks has never been, I guess, that great. I don't know. How do you feel against Miami after seeing them play a good defense?
How do I feel about Miami, or how do I feel about
Miami? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel about Miami has how I have felt. I feel like they might be not gonna say the worst. I'm gonna say the worst contender. Meaning, like, I think they're the worst out of all of my teams. I think that they can win it all. I think they are the worst team out of them because, I mean, there's some inexperience there. As much as we want to go about Tyreek, and but I mean, the team around, I feel inexperience. I mean, I feel some inexperience. Right, a first year head coach.
Okay.
I'm not going to say you're too early, but
how do you feel about Tua, I should say? Are you confident with, if you have Tua going into the playoffs, are you confident?
No. I mean, I've been on that train. I know if Jared was here. Oh, how dare you say that?
Yeah, because I think you have to look at kind of the teams he's played against. When they played Buffalo, they beat Buffalo. He had 186 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. And then they played Cincinnati. I mean, that's the unfortunate game where he got that injury. But, I mean, before that, stats weren't, I guess, phenomenal. And then goes to play San Francisco, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. So when they've played good teams, he hasn't played great. He played good against Baltimore, especially in the second half, where he had like the 6 touchdowns, like 400 and some yards. But other than that, I guess whenever they've played a good team, he's not looked as good as everyone is, I guess, hyping him up to be.
Yeah, but and the one thing he's done great though, he's limited turnovers, right? Only 5 interceptions on the year. I mean,
yeah, but I more look at, I guess, I think Miami's going to make the playoffs, right? I mean, they're 8-4. They're pretty much a lock to make it to the playoffs. So at that point, when I'm looking at what teams should be contenders, I want to look at how they've performed against the other playoff teams, because you're not going to be playing Houston, you're not going to be playing Cleveland, or you're not going to be playing some of these other teams that, like, during the regular season, you can put up 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and make your stats look great. You're going to be playing those. You're going to be playing Buffalo's. You're going to be playing like San Francisco's or whatever. You're going to be playing those better teams. So I kind of look at that when I look at like who's actually contenders. I want to see how they've played against them.
And you're right. I mean, his worst games have came against good teams, as you would expect. So there's got to be some questions with his, playoff. It looks like this year, because this will be his playoff debut.
Who'd you say were your contenders last week? Well, you had Buffalo, Kansas City, and did you have Miami?
I had Dallas. Or you were talking AFC.
Yeah.
I had Buffalo, Kansas City.
Yeah.
I did include Miami. I think I did include Miami as the worst one. I might have.
I think I had Miami as well. I mean,
did I say Baltimore? Now I wouldn't.
I would hope not. I would hope not.
I don't think I did. I think I said them as the best pretender, though.
Do you think? What's Baltimore's record right now? Are they 7-5?
8-4.
8-4. Are
they?
I
think they've lost close games. I mean, they've lost games they should have won too. But now Lamar injury.
They're gonna make the playoffs.
Where did you prevent? Yeah, the Ravens should make the playoffs, I should say.
Well, they're not winning that division, right? I don't think you can confidently say they're winning the division. And then you got what they're going against. Who would the bottom wild card team be? It'd be either the Chargers or the Patriots or Jets right now.
Yep,
so they have to beat out like 2 of them, right?
Mm-hmm. But they have the tiebreaker over the Bengals right now because of head-to-head win percentage. But yeah, I mean, they're both 8-4. That's not going to probably prevail for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no.
But you're looking right now then at the strength of schedule metric and the strength of victory metric.
I'm not
those. Yeah,
I think they're losing division by like 1 or 2 games. Like I don't think they're going to lose it on a tiebreaker as far as the division goes.
Well, I'm talking about like for playoffs in general. Though these tiebreakers are relevant. So, Jets being 7-5.
Yeah, they have a fairly easy schedule though. They have Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Pittsburgh again.
Are you talking about Baltimore?
Yeah, that's just
Baltimore's going to make it in, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a matter of where they make it in, though. They could, based on some of these metrics, I think they'll make it in at either the 6 or 7.
I'd say. Well, who's going to be the 5 seeds? Either going to be Buffalo or Miami, right?
Yep.
You think?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm looking at right now.
And
then it's going to be. I do think the Jets fizzle out.
That defense is going to keep them in every game.
But
I mean, we saw it against
Patriots
Minnesota.
At 7.
We saw the Jets were down 20-3 or something like that. 20-3, and they gave up what they gave up the rest of the game, like 7 points or something.
Well, right? Yeah, they made it competitive when it looked like it was over. Maybe not over, but
that's like one of the things that makes me kind of question Minnesota as well. Just I know, like, I'm not saying Jets are a bad team. I think they're if they figured out their quarterback situation, I would say they're a real contender this year. Is that wild to say? Like, if they had a quarterback in that like kind of like 10 to 12 range, would you say they're real contender?
I think if Breece Hall didn't get injured too, that I would need that too. I mean, if they had Breece Hall and
if they had like
quarterback,
say they had Jimmy G right now with like Breece Hall injury still, like, with the current roster, they have Zonovan Knight as their running back. They have James Robinson. Like those are their running backs right now. Are they a contender?
No. They'd be a
No?
really good pretender, though. I'd put them with the Ravens. Might take them over the Ravens. I'm not sold on the Jets
I'm
yet.
taking Jets over the Ravens right now, anyways. But
Okay. Well, with the quarterback situation, I would. If the Ravens have
even
Lamar,
with Lamar, even with
Lamar's struggles, yeah, you're just a little bullish on the Jets for me.
it's not that
I
bullish.
don't know.
I just the Ravens have not. It's more or less I don't like the Ravens, I guess. Like with Lamar's struggles, we've seen him struggle in the playoffs already, which I'm not. I guess I don't buy into past playoff struggles as much as other people, I guess. But it's still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like we've seen him. He didn't play amazing last year either. I mean, he's had struggles throughout the season for a few years now. So I think I don't know.
That AFC playoff picture, though, is going to be interesting. You'd imagine, right? I mean, I don't think the Chargers are making it realistically. Plus, there's strength of victory metric too with like tiebreakers. Even if it goes like,
is Brandon Staley gone then?
Yeah, I am on that. I mean, his play calling, like I was, even in fantasy, just looking at like kickers and stuff. You cannot have the Chargers kicker, whoever it ends up being. They had
Cameron
2 or 3
Diker or whatever. Right?
Yeah, I think it's Cameron Diker right now. Yeah, but like, what's the point of having him when he just goes on fourth down? Goes for it every time. Like people are.
I mean, it's not even only that. It's just I don't understand how you can have like they're gonna play tough against Miami this weekend. Like it's gonna be a 1-score game, a 10-point game, something like that. But then they also go and play like they could play Houston and be a 1-score game too. Like I don't understand how they make every single game competitive, even when it shouldn't be. And when you have Justin Herbert, you have Austin Eckler. I don't think like most of these games should not be competitive. And
They can't finish games. I mean, looking at like even when they played the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. I mean, game right there. They had 2 drives where they could have done something. Nothing. It's they can play good enough to get in the game, but they can't finish games, and that's a reflection on mostly I feel Brandon Staley. I know Jared's would say if he was here, Justin Herbert. It's not him. I mean, he's not it yet. He's not it. He could be it, but he's not it. That's what Jared would say. But
he hasn't won any big games. Yeah.
Something around that narrative.
Sean Payton comes back. I don't see why he wouldn't want to go to the Chargers.
But the Colts, he can choose the quarterback. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, you were agreeing with him there. You're agreeing with Jared.
Yeah.
They get a high draft pick.
Yeah, if he gets to decide the quarterback, though, all jokes aside, I do think.
That's not how that works. If you're taking a proven top 6 young quarterback and is going to do this, third year over a rookie quarterback, even if you can choose a rookie quarterback,
I would, but
you're
could
taking
hear
that
the
top
argument.
6 quarterback every single time.
I could hear the argument. Also, money talks. Well, who knows what kind of contract that you'd imagine the bigger market would win out there, and we know the bigger market. But
doesn't one of the Walmart guys own the Chargers?
Does he?
I think so. I think one of the Waltons. Right
there, you
Walton,
go.
That's your name. So
yeah.
I think they have the money to pay Sean.
Yeah,
Payton.
no,
I think they'll be okay.
You would think. Okay, I can agree with that too. But what else was I frustrated with in fantasy? There was a good bit. I was, Michael Pittman too. I mean, just, I'm not a fan of talking Colts a lot, but Michael Pittman had a tough week. And, how about that Sunday night? Maybe it's Jared kind of missed out on talking about a good game. Detroit
Sunday
and
night game.
Not
Detroit.
Yeah. Dallas and Indianapolis.
They got blown
54-19. Sorry,
it's a close game going into the fourth quarter.
My favorite point of the game was when the Colts were kneeling the clock out. Might have been the best part of the game. I was like, wow.
Was it still 21-19 going into the fourth?
I think so. Jack Settleman, a fan of the podcast, was sending scores of it and like showing like this and then that. And that was that was good to see.
I think it was 21-19 and then Dallas scored like 30 some in the. Yeah, I think they scored 33 in the fourth quarter then.
No, okay.
Say
Just
it's
looking at the stats of this game, they did score 33 unanswered in the fourth. If you're wondering, Colts
Wow.
actually scored 6. Yeah, it was 21-19 and a 3. But the part about this game that made it so remarkable was the Colts the Cowboys outgained the Colts by only 76 yards. And then
Yeah, that's because Matt Ryan was throwing more passes to the Cowboys than the Colts in the fourth quarter.
But then what happened was the Colts had 18 first downs compared to the Cowboys 23, and the Colts had more time of possession. However, the
Yeah.
turnover battle 5-1.
Exactly.
That's you're deciding one, And then remember, we were talking. It was -11 was the game coming in. The line was,
Yeah.
and and I
It
said,
was looking good going into the fourth.
I think I said Cowboys by a couple scores. I should have said many scores. So
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, this game might have been. The announcers. I mean, just looking at Collingsworth, especially Chris Collinsworth, was kind of shocked too, right? I mean, this is again a primetime game. Matt Ryan is.
Yeah. How did the NFL not flex this game out and
How
flex
they not
either
flex Chiefs?
Like was it either the Chiefs game or the Dolphins 49ers game? Either one of those two. Either one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this would have been the game to flex. Was it the
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday needs to be on prime time? First year
I don't
coach
know.
thing. Cowboys big market.
They flexed the Colts out in like a couple weeks though, right? 2 weeks, I
I
think.
believe they did after this.
But
this game was terrible.
Was it the Eagles and Giants they put in, or was it the Cowboys and Giants, something like that? It was the
I need to look at.
NFC East playoff game.
They'll be good though. I've been happy so far with the flexes they've done. Haven't they mostly just done the Sunday night ones though? They haven't done anything on Monday night.
They've been all Sunday. I think they used
Washington
all their flexes though, right?
Yeah, Washington, New York was one of those flexes.
They flexed that next week.
Yeah, or that's week 15. Yep, I would have preferred that one to be. Is there one I prefer?
Don't flex that one. I mean, it's gonna have like playoff implications, but if you're gonna flex a game, like flex like a Burrow Mahomes, something that has like it's gonna have some fireworks.
Well, the thing is, there isn't really a Burrow Mahomes that week.
They should have flexed the Bills Bengals in week 16, I think.
No,
17?
Here's what they did. They put the Saturday night game, because week 15 we got some Saturday games. They put Buffalo Miami at night, Saturday night, but then they should have put. I guess. Well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's a great Saturday night game, but I would have rather had that one Sunday night. I mean, Cleveland Baltimore is the other Saturday game there, and then there's another one at noon actually. So there's 3. It's Indianapolis. It's Colts and Vikings. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it'll be a 1-score game.
You mentioned your Burrow Mahomes. Cincinnati Tampa Bay might have been like the flex you could have done.
No,
well, that's if you want Burrow.
Tampa Bay is one of those
Brady,
teams. Okay,
they're boring.
When I was going off power rankings, when I was making that this week, I could see there's so clear of tiers right now for me. So it's the top 8. Top 8 of Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, Cincinnati, Miami, Minnesota, and San Francisco. Those are the teams where I want to watch them. They're very good teams. I think like they're easily going to make playoffs. They can make a run, whatever. Then there's the next tier. Baltimore, Tennessee, Washington, New York, like New England, Tampa Bay. I guess you can put Seattle in there. But those are teams, and like the New York Giants, where they're kind of on the fringe of the playoffs. Some of them, most of them probably going to make it, but they're not like exciting to watch, I guess. You could argue like Washington with Heineke, he's made it a little bit more exciting, but like, are you ever going to go out of your way to watch a Tampa Bay game this year? Or a Baltimore game?
I get that,
have been not good.
The point I was making was there's not a lot of good games, so that is the best one to flex week 15. Because you got and I mostly agree with you with your power rankings with the classifications. I think you're pretty close to spot on that. Kansas City is in Houston. Dallas is at Jacksonville. I mean, Philly's in Chicago. Like,
Detroit and the Jets, that'll be a good game.
Honestly, that'll be a good new one.
Detroit's offense is for real.
I think we'll see that this week too against the Minnesota. I know Minnesota's
It's already
defense isn't
been
as
for
good
real.
as the Jets, but
Their
yeah, I
offense
mean,
has
40
been
points
like
last week.
legit, like all season
Goff's
though.
playing the best he's played like statistically in his career, basically.
Yeah, and that's the Jameson Williams playing like what 5 snaps, something like that. Like he barely played too.
He got 1 target, I believe, was the stat. If you're
Yeah, he had
looking
1
for that.
target, no catches. But
And you're hoping
you could have done like
closer.
the Chargers Tennessee, I guess.
That was
But yeah, again, that's not going to be a super.
no that by the way, that New York Washington, I watched that overtime. That was painful.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game. That was this last Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that for the Packer game? Right after they went to that coverage.
Yeah. I didn't watch much of the Packer game either. I had a lot of stuff I had to do for like kind of school stuff, but I watched like probably a half or 2.5 quarters, something like that. But
let's go back to week 14.
All right.
Well, we're talking all about week 15, and I'm like, hold on, we'll talk about that next week.
I mean, it's pretty much it's playoff times, right? We're talking playoff implications. Do you still think Giants make it?
Giants? I was the one who originally said Giants aren't going to make it when they had the hot start.
I said Giants weren't going to make it. Oh, you said it way like 7-2.
I said it really early.
Yeah, and you haven't said it since though.
Well, I'll say it again. No, I don't think
I said like 2 weeks ago. I think when they're like 7.
I said after like week 6, week 7 when they were like 5-1 or whatever it was. 4.
Yeah. You don't think they're making it?
No. And it's nothing against what Brian Dable's done. It's just the team.
I feel like you've been flopping like back and forth on that a little bit, haven't
you?
Yeah, I feel like it was because we started talking about like what their schedule was, and a lot of the games looked like they should have won them pretty easily. And then I think they like won a few games, and they're like 6-1 or something like that. And I think you're kind of like on the fence, saying like they're probably going to make it just because their schedule.
Maybe, but the fact of the matter is, I don't think they're making it. But the thing is, it's them. It's got to be them or the Commanders, basically, who make it, right? Unless we see Detroit, Atlanta, or Green Bay sneak in there. I mean, Seattle's in there as well.
Detroit,
but Seattle's gonna.
Detroit probably has the best chance.
Well, based on all the head-to-head metrics, whatever, they do have the best chance.
Well, Green Bay's got to win out just to have like a chance.
Green Bay's got to win out, and then they need Seattle to lose all their games except they can only win one of their next few games. Same with Washington.
Do you think Seattle's going to make it?
What if
Seattle misses and the Giants and Washington both make it?
I think that'd be terrible for football.
Yeah, Giants aren't making it. They play Philly twice yet. They play Minnesota.
Yeah.
Washington.
That's why I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what I was looking at and said they weren't making it.
Yeah,
so
yikes.
Maybe it was Jared, but in Jared's defense too. I know he's not here, but he's mentioned Washington being that team. You probably, even though the record's 7-5-1 for the Commanders compared to 7-4-1, you gotta like the Commanders' shot to make it over the Giants based on just schedule.
Well, I think Giants lose this week and then they have the same record. Does that put Giants ahead or is Washington ahead?
I have the metrics up. Conference record. Where's division? 1-2-1. Giant. Oh yeah, it's gonna put the Commanders ahead.
Yeah,
based on division
Washington
record.
passes them, then they play each other again. I think even though, like, I still think Giants can lose like 2 of their last 3 games anyways against Minnesota and Philly. Philly looked.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of questioning.
Yeah, I was.
Jalen Hurts had a few poor passing games in a row, and then made everyone just kind of.
I was talking. I know I was.
Yeah,
I was one who was like, this Philly team's losing steam. Yeah, no, they looked
80 yards.
I mean, that game single-handedly, that game in one trade got the Titans GM fired. What? I mean,
yeah.
Look, that AJ Brown trade might have been the nail. Like, if he doesn't trade AJ Brown, he probably still has his job.
Other stuff yet, but
well, I would. I don't think
that was that wasn't like the full, but.
I'm saying that had to be like a nail in the coffin, right? I mean, the big thing was I don't know we're talking right now. Just Titans, whatever. But draft pick wise, I mean, when you haven't really hit on a huge pick, I mean, you drafted AJ Brown, whatever,
Well,
but like
yeah.
Derrick Henry, not just whatever, but like solid. But again, Derrick Henry being the other one, a lot of the defense, I mean, solid, but again, I just feel like
Well, we've seen every game where the other team has like a decent front seven. They stopped Derrick Henry, and the Tennessee's scoring what under 20 points for sure. I mean, it was what he had 11 carries for like 30 yards or something, and
I've
they
never.
couldn't score.
I mean, we've seen teams stop Derrick Henry, but never to like. I feel like never to this extent. I mean, that was remarkable.
Well, yeah, because I think most times like teams will stop him, but they don't jump out to it because Tennessee has a good defense as well. So they kind of hold teams kind of where it's close enough they can still use Henry.
Switch the game script.
Philly stopped Derrick Henry early, and they put up a lot of points early, and then it was kind of like they had to pass. Like,
Tannehill's got to pass.
Didn't have an option. Yeah.
You mentioned Jordan Davis being back as a big story,
back, yep.
and he was back, and lo and behold, I mean, what a time for him to be back. We should have touched on that more last week, right? I mean, that front seven. That front seven's got to be like
they just signed
front sevens.
Dominican Sue. They got Linville Joseph. They got
these
Fletcher
old
Cox,
experienced vets. Fletcher Cox.
Their front seven is experienced, and they're good. They got some big guys there, and like, Nakobe Dean is playing. Nakobe Dean played.
That's we talked about in the draft too. That that defense especially. I mean, it was a defense that many were high on. You know, like the Hassan Reddick thing. Like people were high on, but nobody knew from this extent that they were going to be this, dominant. I'd say. And big thing was, right? I mean, guys who we even mentioned like Josh Sweat, Javon Hargrave, TJ Edwards. I think those guys, especially Darius Slay too. I mean,
Darius got to be James
top,
Bradbury.
That's a top
Gardner
5
Johnson
defense. Top
played
3.
Really good before he's missed some time with injury now, but yeah. I mean, this is why I was saying, I forget if it was last week or 2 weeks ago now, where if I was the 49ers, like the Eagles are the last team I want to play in the playoffs because they can. What other teams can? I don't think Dallas can match San Francisco's physicality, like on the line. I think San Francisco is going to beat Dallas, but I think Philly can match them very well.
Yeah, I think this defense is, this team is going to be. After this past week of games, you got to say this team is the favorite to come out of the NFC, right?
Yeah,
even with 49ers, and even with easily. And I think the real bigger question is, who's number 2? Is it,
is it
San Francisco or the Cowboys? Yeah, basically those are the two. And it's how much you value the Garoppolo injury and how much you feel, the Cowboys can win that big game.
I think, Dallas, have they had like a big win yet this year? I know Dak missed some time, but
Dallas,
they've been blowing out. Yeah, I guess Minnesota
Vikings.
Forgot about that. The biggest. Like they've been blowing out these bad teams by like 30, 40 points, which is it's what you're supposed to do. So obviously you can be like, yeah, like they're a good team. They're blowing out the bad teams. Obviously they blew out Minnesota too, but I don't know.
So I'm looking at defensive stats too with it. Sorry, go ahead.
Obviously I think Dallas is top 3 in the NFC for my contenders, but I don't know. I'm taking Philly over anyone in the NFC quite easily. I mean, I picked them over the Giants this week in my first team pick. I took took the Eagles. So,
and you're getting a Philly, and they are coming in hot, and the Giants are not. So you gotta like that. Well, defense too. I mean, Cowboys. I think what their bread and butter, of course, is getting the quarterback. They got 48 sacks already this year.
Yeah,
that's number 1 in all football. And then Eagles, number 2, they are 42. But then interceptions is like turnovers is a crucial part of that Eagles defense that makes, it's 15 interceptions for them. That's kind of where they've started. They're like top 5 in every defensive metric. So overall, you would have to imagine they are.
Yeah, they're great defense. I mean, top 3 NFC teams all have great defenses. You got San Francisco, Dallas, and Philly.
Minnesota does not, but they have won 1-score games, and that is why.
Yeah,
as you pointed out.
9 of their 10 wins have been one score or something like that. It's something ridiculous.
So-
I think the one was against the Packers where they won like by like 15 or 16, something like that.
And then we see Detroit being favorited against the Vikings. It's at Ford Field, so I mean, it's not like this huge surprise. It's not like
Who are you taking in that game?
Dallas. I'm taking Detroit.
I
Oh,
was
and this is
tempted
the
to
game
take
too.
Detroit. I was tempted to take Detroit in the last round of the team picks today, but
And I'll talk about this because we're doing the live show. So at our last live show, we announced a giveaway of like 2 cards, which I have right here. It's Luke Gedeke and Bobby Portis. But at that live show, we actually had an individual come up to us, talk with us. He was taking Detroit over 5.5 wins. He had his family became Lions family, right? And this is the win that could get him over that 5.5, Zach.
yeah, wait, he was taking the Bears under too. What was the Bears line? Was it 4?
Bears under was 4.5, I think. And
They could hit that too.
He took Nebraska to win the Big Ten West though, so that was kind of the one that was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but the thing was, I'm pretty sure he was more bullish on that Nebraska one. I think that one was the bigger one.
That one's not looking so good, but
that one's over.
He's got
that one lost.
Yeah.
Purdue won the West.
Yeah,
that one's over.
Yeah. Well,
We'll have to have that guy in the offseason. I'll see if he would want to come on and we can chat it out and kind of the strategies. But yeah, Nebraska, they ended up finishing 4-8, 6th in the Big Ten West. So in case you're wondering, that did not happen. But the bright side is though that Detroit 5.5, like all offseason, if you heard anyone talking about futures, you heard about Detroit 5.5, right? I think that was.
I mean, that team. I'm worried long term for the Packers going against that team. They're going to have a probably, how long term? 2nd, 3rd overall pick. They're having 2nd or 3rd overall pick they got the Rams pick. So they have a very early pick. They still got their like normal 1st round pick, which will be probably teens, I would say.
They got developed though.
Their receiving core is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, assuming Jameson Williams plays up to like what we all are expecting, but they got Amon-Ra, they got DeAndre Swift, they got
Chark underrated.
Williams. Chark, yeah.
Well, we gotta, okay, Lions though. We need better usage from Swift. This Jamal Williams usage is so annoying for Swift owners, including myself. He did fine, but like, if you're gonna limit him and give him some sort of snap count for 3 or 4 straight weeks, you're better off not playing him. You really aren't. I don't see the point. I think you should, when you play him, I don't think it should be 5 touches a game and then like 5 targets. That's kind of what it's been.
Why?
I mean, last week, but that has been frustrating.
That's 5 touches they're getting out of him. That if they think he makes their team better when he's on the field, right?
Oh, a lot better. He's better than Jamal Williams.
If they can get him 5 touches, why not get him the 5 touches? Why would you take 0 touches when you can get 5?
Oh, I agree, but I mean, I'd rather maximize his usage.
Well,
though.
You talk about fantasy football. They're trying to keep him healthy. They're thinking.
Oh, I know, and I'm talking. But they don't see Swift as a 3-down running back. Is what I see.
I see it as they want him to stay healthy.
Well,
so they're trying to.
They don't see him as 3-down running back right now.
No, I guess because they would rather him play limited snaps and be able to play every week than get the 25 touches, 25 touches, whatever it is.
And I don't expect that value. I mean, with his type, I still feel like he's, you throw him with like Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson. Like, I mean, they're kind of similar in terms of they'll get a lot of target. Like, I mean, they're kind of pass catch first. It's fair to say. Even Austin Eckler, of course, not to that standards though, because Eckler's getting those touchdowns where, as we know,
touches last week.
Who?
Swift did.
Yeah. I'm complaining.
What are you complaining about?
I'm complaining about the 5 weeks or 6 weeks before that when he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean he is around.
Sorry, it's a little premature, or not premature, but little late after that.
If you're doing like a a daily fantasy draft or something right now, if you're doing like the sleeper,
Yep.
those drafts, he's really good value right now. I got him in probably 2 or 3 drafts I've done so far. I got him in, I think,
I'm looking where he's at right now.
5th round, 4th, 5th round, something like that.
He is.
I was also
right
drafting
now,
on like Monday night, so
do they have it out yet? He's right now going to number 7.
no way.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I don't
Yeah.
know if he's good value anymore then.
Oh no, now he's going. Okay, now I see he's at number 26. He's at number 26 overall, but number 7 for running back. Sorry, that's good
Yeah.
value.
Hold on, I'm trying to look at where I got him, because I don't think I got him in the. Oh, of course, it's not loading now.
DJ Moore's going as wide receiver 32. If you asked,
I was not asking.
really?
I got DeAndre Swift. Hold on, I want to see my draft.
Yeah, if you're wondering what Zach's talking about, it's a sleeper draft basically, where it's like a DFS style, but for drafting.
Yeah.
It's like fantasy football, but DFS style. It's pretty cool.
I got Swift in the 4th round. So I guess Swift, that's about where round. He's going.
Okay, read us your team, please. It's PPR. Keep in mind.
Hold on, I got 4 teams so far.
I started drafting. Read us your favorite.
Oh, I don't even know who's on each team. We're gonna go with. All right, we're gonna look at this one quick. I think this one I went receiver heavy and some. All right, yeah. So I got Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, DeAndre Swift, Saquon Barkley, Ramondre Stevenson, and then I don't like the end. I got George Kittle, who I kind of need a tight end. I probably should have waited for Pat Freiermuth. But then I got Tua and Mike Evans. I wanted to get Garrett Wilson.
Shocker.
And somebody took him at the beginning of the 6th round. I was shocked at that. Like I was doing other drafts right before it, and I was getting him in the 8th round.
You got him. You got him in the 8th round. Oh, wow. Yeah, his okay. He's still we were talking league. We were talking league winners today, a little bit, and right now all signs would point. I'm talking about players. Christian Watson, Garrett Wilson, who you mentioned, which right now look like the clear cut guys, and there's always that saying. There's always been, or in the last 6 years, there's been one rookie wide receiver to finish in the top 20. Looks like Olave right now. All things are held constant, but Wilson.
Garrett Wilson right now. He's 18, 19. He'll be top 20. There you go. He's top 20 right now.
Yeah, I was getting to him. I was saying Olave points though to a guy who could still.
What's
finish.
Olave right now?
Olave, he just had a rough week, didn't he? He's 16 right now. Weeks. He's wide receiver 16.
He's falling off a little bit.
Okay. And this might be yeah. But what I'm saying is, Olave right now is your number 1 rookie receiver in terms of fantasy output. Wilson, rest of the season though, is certainly, it looks pretty likely to pass it. Yeah. Watson, of course, has skyrocketed over these past few weeks, but he still is only wide receiver 36. So,
all right, this is another one of my teams. All right, Devontae Adams. I like Devontae Adams, but you can give him an end of the 1st round. And Austin Eckler, Jalen Hurts, Saquon, Stevenson. Then you got Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson, and Greg Dulcich. That's how I ended the draft then.
See, I like Dulcich a lot. I mean, your last pick actually might be my favorite. Not just because you said it last, but because Sutton just got ruled out. I mean, not ruled out, but we talked unlikely to play. He's probably not going to play. Devontae Smith, he when Hurts is throwing the ball 25, 30 times.
I wasn't a big fan of Devontae Smith, but
I mentioned that too, but yeah.
Yeah. I think they could still pass.
Dulcich looks good though. Like, I mean, that's good value you're getting. It really is.
With Dulcich in the last round. I mean,
he's probably it's going to go Judy and then him in terms of targets.
Yeah, but it's also Denver.
Well, I get you're probably going to get touchdowns with him, but you're going to get receptions. If you get like 12, 15 points out of him, I know it's shooting high, but
I mean, what worries me is the last 4 weeks he's had 14.5, 3, 7, 2. So it's kind of the floor really isn't there just because
It's like Mike Evans this year, like every year.
I'm gonna blame it on the offense just because the Denver offense is that bad. I think that's kind of why his floor is so low. But
Do you think that offense is more Hackett, more Wilson, or both?
I think it's
The easy answer is both. I'm going to say both.
Yeah, I'd probably say both. Wilson has been terrible. Like you really can't defend him anymore, I guess.
Yeah,
But
it's hard to even say this. Like system X is why Russell Wilson's not performing. No, it's Russell Wilson. But at the same time,
yeah, he's been bad.
The Hackett system, as we've seen, hasn't benefited or hasn't helped it. I think it's kind of the way to look at it.
What does Denver do though? I mean, they can't get rid of Russell Wilson.
No, you put some like when we talk off season, like I think they're going to be a big one. Talk about what in the world's going on with them. What are the Bears going to do with their money? What are the Rams going to do? I mean, there's
a fun team to watch.
Bears. I mean, yeah, I would think so. What are the Packers going to do? I think those are kind of big ones. Do you want to go ahead and do our giveaway right now for Thrive?
Go for it. You got
Just see it here. So again, Luke Gedeke, here it is, a Valor's High School graduate, went then to, they have down. This one does say Western Michigan University. It actually was Central Michigan. So fun fact, card has an error, but it's autographed. And he was also at Stevens Point. And then we have Bobby Portis. Zach, you know Bobby Portis, right? I hope so.
Yeah.
Good. Basketball. This is a New York Knicks card, both autographed, in case you're wondering. I thought one of them was numbered. Neither are numbered, but still autographed. And we have 10 contestants here. I have a random number generator. And again, thank you to each one of these people for supporting us on our Thrive Fantasy, the journey here. And again, if you want to join Thrive Fantasy, that link is down below in the link tree. So just click on that and you can get all signed up and use promo code J2M. And again, I have our 10 contestants here. And I'm going to spin it 3 times, Zach. I'll read you the numbers. So we're going to go with number 3, by the way, like the third number I read. So I spin it once.
Am I on the list? Can I win this? No.
Can you win this?
Yeah, no.
No, we have some people. Like I'll read some of the people I recognize. Mikey Ohanic, right? Thank you for your support. It's been in the chat sometimes. Noah Oldmans can win this. Trent Persinger, people in our leagues. Riley Hummel could win this. He's in the podcast league. So those are just a few of the names. And let's read some here. Here, number 1 I spin is number 1. Spin number 2 is number 8. And then spin number 3 here. This will decide our winner. It is number 10. Number 10. Oh, no. Who is? Oh, no. Oh, come on. Our winner is Miranda Rausch.
Wow, look at that.
Miranda, thank you for signing up for Thrive. We will be in contact with you for your prize, which will be delivered over winter break, the next month or 2. Thank you, Miranda, for your support. Again, you'll be winning. This is what was won, right? A Luke Gedeke signed card. Valor's people will appreciate that. And then Bobby Portis autograph. So that is what you'll win. All right, that's what was given out today. Again, we have a giveaway coming around for Christmas. Again, to thank everyone here for their support. But otherwise, Zach, do you have anything else here you want to touch on before we wrap up?
No, I think we're good to end it.
Yeah, it was no Jared, so it was just a lot of us talking. A lot more talking than usual because Jared usually likes to run his mouth, so I'm a little parched, to say the least. But yeah, that's Thrive Fantasy. Again, want to make sure I include that one more time. Promo code J2M. Get your journey to millions started. You'll see power rankings coming up on for football. You saw it today. You'll see it each and every Wednesday. There are basketball power rankings debuting next week. You'll see those next Monday. And then if you saw, I mentioned on Monday, the Bucks prediction post, the new one's out. Special thanks to Zack here, marketing man, to get that done. Looks fantastic. Love the new layout. So thank you, Zack, on that. But otherwise, am I missing something? Any other announcements here?
No.
Okay, good. But yeah, you'll see the team and player picks coming out Thursday and Friday. So tomorrow and Friday. And again, that'll wrap it up here for Zack Rausch and myself, Drew Skyberg, here on this Wednesday night. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the Journey to Million, the perfect podcast for you.